Every match he plays, someone gets embarrassed.
He's a genius.
From breaking records,
oh, it's simply sensational.
Lamine Yamal fever has taken over the headlines,
to making history on the international stage.
The youngest player to ever play in the semi-final of a major tournament.
He has terrorized everyone, leaving a trail of victims. From Kylian Mbappe to Rabiot.
If you want to be able to play a Euro final, you need to be able to do a bit more than he's done.
You said, speak now, speak now. What was the meaning behind that?
To the entire Bernabeu, who are Yamal's biggest victims? And which teams fear him the most? After years of being tormented by La Pulga, Real Madrid fans now have to endure the wrath of Lamine Yamal.
He's somebody that, like Messi, will grab a game by the scruff of the neck and drag it into Barcelona's favour.
Madristas went from this...
Oh my goodness, Leo Messi has equalised in the last minute! Absolutely incredible!
to this.
Now, a test of the Real Madrid defence. Lovely drop of the shoulder from Lamine Yamal. He keeps his balance, he keeps his head, and he equalises for Barcelona!
Hey, I've seen this one.
He's a chosen one after Messi.
Yeah.
Messi danced past you then pointed to the sky, pushing the humble gimmick. Yamal will score on you and then tell you to calm down. He will dance on you with the moves that he choreographed the day before. That's how confident he is. From the get-go, the teenager showed that he was a problem. Despite his age, he had shown no fear. He actually almost scored in the first El Clasico he started in, a goal that honestly should have counted. But even with daylight robbery, Yamal was a problem for the Madrid defense. Every time he got the ball, a chance would be created. Despite the fact that Barca lost the match, it was a sign of what was to come, proven by the fact that he was awarded the man of the match in a loss.
Well, it's Lamine Yamal who gets man of the match.
Well, let's fast forward to October 26, 2024, El Clasico. Yamal was still a teenager, not even old enough to vote, but old enough to haunt the biggest club in world football, the defending La Liga and Champions League winners at the time.
Lamine Yamal, and Lamine Yamal into the roof of the net. He scored his first goal in a Clasico, and surely it's the goal that gives Barca all 3 points here.
Most teenagers wouldn't even be on the pitch. They'd be at home beating their meat. But not Yamal. On this day, he made history. At just 17 years and 105 days old, he became the youngest player ever to score an El Clasico. And it wasn't some sort of Ronaldo tap-in either. It was Barcelona's third goal in a 4-0 spanking of their fiercest rival. He slotted it home with the calm of a veteran, silencing an entire stadium that had been jeering him just minutes earlier. The crowd couldn't do anything. They just sat back and watched as this skinny teenager danced past everyone like it was a training session. It wasn't just a goal, it was a message. I mean, look at what Yamal was doing. The calm of celebration followed by him showing his braces. Minutes before they were booing him. Now they watched in awe. Yamal had arrived. Then came the Spanish Super Cup final on January 12, 2025.
Deep breath. It is game time.
Barca and Madrid met again, this time in Saudi Arabia. Madrid took an early lead, but Yamal wasn't having it. He stepped up and scored Barcelona's first goal.
Now, a test of the Real Madrid defence. Lovely drop of the shoulder from Lamine Yamal. He keeps his balance, he keeps his head, and he equalises for Barcelona.
Completely swinging the momentum back in the Blaugrana's favor. From there, it was all Barca. The final score, another belt-to-ass performance, a 5-2 win. Humiliation again for Real Madrid. Yamal had once again reminded the Madrid fans of the horror they experienced under Messi. That night, he helped Barcelona lift their 15th Spanish Super Cup. I don't think you guys understand how ridiculous it is. A teenager being the difference in a cup final. But Yamal wasn't done. His next masterpiece came in the Copa del Rey final. This was a tense, dramatic clash that went all the way to extra time. It wasn't like the previous matches where Real Madrid got bent over. Yamal didn't score in this one, but what he did do was equally as impressive. He turned into a playmaker. His first assist came in the 12th minute, cutting through Madrid's defense with a pass that found Pedri perfectly. I know I'm glazing this guy already, but look at Yamal's gravity. He's being defended like he's Messi, like he's Steph Curry in the NBA. 5 dudes trying to gang up on a 17-year-old? I've seen that on other websites before. Then later, when Barcelona were trailing, Yamal stepped up again, delivering a perfect ball to Ferran Torres to make it 2-2. He was the pulse of Barcelona's attack. Everything went through him. Look at the context of when he gets his goals and assists. He's getting it in the most clutch moments. He's not stat padding. Eventually, thanks to Jules Koundé, Barcelona ended up winning the game and were crowned Copa del Rey champion. And like I said, Yamal isn't Messi. After the game, he didn't hold back. Just when Madrid thought they were done being humiliated by a left-footed magician, they have a new problem on their hands, and his name is Lamine Yamal. Now, while Real Madrid as a whole are one of Yamal's biggest victims, certain individuals on that team have been terrorized by Yamal on the international stage as well. Let's look at Euro 2024. Spain met Croatia in the first round, and they were led by Madrid's own Luka Modric. First game of the tournament, and Yamal instantly made an impact.
Another terrific goal for Spain, Dani Carvajal!
With such confidence, and what a delivery from young Lamine Yamal. You can say he comes through the crowd there. Dani Carvajal keeps himself onside.
Then came his next victim, Kylian Mbappe. Now, before people start weeping about this section, yes, Mbappe's PSG did get the better of Yamal's Barca in 2024. But anyone that watched the game will tell you Yamal was playing better. Nuno Mendes, one of the best left backs in the world, was getting twisted like a pretzel by Yamal. The Spanish phenom danced past him to set up Rafinha's goal. Mbappe got all the headlines because of his goals, but he arguably wasn't even the best player on his own team, let alone the best overall player that night. Yamal had outplayed him, but unfortunately he had to be subbed out because Araujo turned into a bozo. While in Euro 2024, the two met again.
It is Spain against France. One goes through, the other goes home.
Mbappe, newly announced as a Madrista, the man who was supposed to be the next face of football, versus the teenage phenom, Lamine Yamal. Now, there was actually added hype to this game because Mbappe's teammate Rabiot had said this.
And that if you want to be able to play a Euro final, you need to be able to do a bit more than he's done.
Yamal then did what most teenagers have done in their entire life. He put a corny, motivational post on his Instagram. I guess it doesn't matter if you're a multimillionaire or a Discord mod. All men kinda move the same. France took an early lead, but what followed was a moment of pure magic.
Yamal. Got a bend on it! That is simply amazing! The youngest player to ever play in the semi-final of a major tournament has just delivered a goal for the ages!
The turtle could do nothing but watch. It was also fitting that Rabiot, the man who said he was gonna make Yamal uncomfortable, wasn't able to close him down in time and had the best seats in the house to watch that goal. At 16 years and 362 days old, Yamal became the youngest goal scorer in Euros history. Not only did he score, but his dribbling and playmaking throughout the match left the croissant-loving freaks chasing shadows. Everyone had expected Mbappe to be the difference maker, but it was the teenager who stole the spotlight, guiding Spain to the final and securing his place in football history. Outplayed in multiple El Clasicos and a Euro semi-final. I just know Mbappe is sick at the sight of Yamal. Then came the final, and with it, another Madrid player that would become Yamal's victim.
There he is, coming out onto the field of play for his warm-up, and Rio, how do England stop him apart from lock him in the Spanish team's creche?
Well, how do you stop a 17-year-old in the final of a Euro final? I mean, it's crazy we've been sitting here talking about that.
In the Euro 2024 final at Berlin, the world expected Jude Bellingham to lead England to glory. What they got instead was another episode of the Yamal show. From the opening whistle, Yamal looked like he belonged in a different dimension. He wasn't fazed by the occasion, the pressure, or any of the names on the England team sheet. Every time he got the ball, England backed off. And when they didn't, well, he made them regret it. Jake Paul at left back could not handle the skinny teenager. Yes, Jake Paul is Luke Shaw. Yamal dusted him with a quick feint and burst of pace, then slipped a pass to Nico Williams. And just like that, Spain were ahead. That assist made Yamal the youngest player to ever record a goal involvement in a major international final. But more than the numbers, more than the records, it was the swag he played with. He looked like he was playing street football with his friends. Meanwhile, everyone else, especially on the England team, was feeling the pressure. Throughout the match, Bellingham tried his best to rally his side. I mean, he got an assist of his own, but it was clear this was Yamal's night. He may not have scored, but his fingerprints were all over England's downfall. Spain went on to win 2-1, and not only did Yamal become a European champion, he also became the young player of the tournament. Not bad for someone who couldn't even legally buy a beer. Bellingham went into that final with many expecting it to be him that dominates the night, yet he became just another name on Yamal's growing list of victims.
Lamine Yamal, the young player of the tournament, he's just a joy.
He is only going to get better, which is a really scary thought.
Sticking with the international stage, it was time for Yamal to terrorize another player from Madrid, this time a Madrista from the past. You see, Rafael van der Vaart made a mistake. He opened his big fat mouth. Sometimes critics talk too soon, and in Yamal's case, talking bad about him might just be the worst mistake you can make. Before Spain's Nation League second leg clash with the Netherlands, Van der Vaart had some stuff to say. He complained that the young star's attitude was off, his shorts were too low, and he looked like he didn't care enough. Well, Yamal heard it loud and clear. The second leg was played at the Mestalla in Valencia. The first match had ended in a tense 2-2 draw, but in the return leg, Yamal made it personal.
All I needed. That's all I needed for him to do that, and it became personal with me.
In extra time, with the pressure at its peak, Yamal curled in a stunning goal.
Terrific ball for Lamine. Lamine Yamal! That is a sublime goal!
If I scored a goal like that, I'm taking every piece of clothing off me and running around the pitch naked. Yamal, on the other hand, was composed. He didn't run off screaming or waving to the crowd. Instead, he looked straight into the cameras and pulled his shorts down slightly in celebration. It was cheeky. It was calculated. It was a direct response to Van der Vaart's critique. We're not gonna mention Yamal's shocking pen in the shootout. Criticizing Yamal is the fastest way to get on his list of victims. And before a massive title-deciding La Liga match against Atletico Madrid, the critics were out to get Yamal. This was a massive game for both clubs. If Barca won, Atletico were knocked out of the title race. If Atletico won, they would have taken a massive step forward to becoming league champion. The stakes were high, yet all the talk in Spanish media was about Yamal's lack of goals. Yamal had been playing amazing, creating chances for Barca, getting assists, but he hadn't scored for a while. His last goal in La Liga had been the right foot banger against Real Madrid. Since Yamal was no longer considered a promising talent, but rather already one of the best players in the world, he was held to a higher standard. So going into the Metropolitano Stadium, Yamal knew what was at stake. At first, Barca looked rattled. A Julian Alvarez goal and then another goal from the Norwegian Fridge caused him to be down 2-0 with just 20 minutes to go. Now Barca fought their way back to 2-2 thanks to their new mentality under Chad Hansi Flick. And just when it looked like the match would end in a draw, the 92nd minute arrived. The ball fell to Yamal at the edge of the box.
Lamine Yamal cuts inside, gets the shot away, and it's into the back of the net, and Barcelona have surely won this game in added time, just as Atletico Madrid did back in December, and it's Lamine Yamal who's got the goal. He's threatened all night.
The Atletico fans were silenced. Barcelona had taken the lead. The goal didn't just win the match, it ended a 4-month La Liga goal drought for Yamal. His last league goal had come in November, but when it mattered the most, he stepped up again. Barcelona would go on to add a 4th goal and win 4-2. Atletico's dreams of a title run were dead. The famous defense had been ripped apart in their own house. And who was leading the charge? A 17-year-old kid who plays like he's been doing this for a decade. Simeone's team had been cracked open like your gym crush. Another victim, another giant fallen.
And he didn't have his best game, yet he's the one who scores the goal, which really is the difference.
So we have seen Yamal dominate on the international stage. We have seen him unlock the haram low blocks of La Liga. But what about the Champions League? Well, let me introduce you to Yamal's victims in Europe. Yes, I know Spain is in Europe, but you know what I mean. Under the bright lights of the Signal Iduna Park, with tens of thousands of fans screaming in yellow, Yamal played like he owned the place. Every time he touched the ball, the Dortmund defense was shaking. It was his wonderful pass to Ferran Torres that helped Barcelona walk away with a hard-fought 3-2 win. The pass, by the way, is crazy, because at the time, Ferran Torres was in terrible form, so Yamal was literally spoon-feeding this guy to score. Then the two teams met again in the quarterfinals, and Yamal terrorized them again.
Lamine Yamal cuts inside! You cannot let this kid with the ball chop inside onto his left foot. Ben Sabani has come out to meet him. Oh, lovely play by Lamine Yamal! This is nice skill. Lamine Yamal. Koundé points where he wants it. Lamine Yamal with the ball in there. Rafinha! And Lewandowski! It's a second. Rafinha with the pass. And it's another one. This time, Lamine Yamal.
That goal didn't just wrap up the game, it also made history. Yamal became the first player ever to score multiple Champions League knockout goals before turning 18. I told you, this kid doesn't just play, he dominates. And for Borussia Dortmund, it was another long night of just chasing Yamal's shadow.
First player in Champions League history to score 4 goals before his 18th birthday.
Then we have Benfica. When Barca played the Portuguese side in the group stage, it was one of the most entertaining games of the season. Yamal once again had been tearing apart their defense the way Lizzo tears up a cheeseburger. But Yamal's real magic came out in the round of 16 match. This game truly made me believe that Yamal might be the best player in the world. From the very start, the 17-year-old looked like a man on a mission. Just a minute into the match, he picked out Rafinha with a perfect pass, setting him up to score Barcelona's opener. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to this goal. Rafinha wanted the ball, but Yamal told him to keep going. Look at where Yamal is. And he told Rafinha, don't worry, calm down, I got this, I'll get it to you. This isn't normal, people.
Took the ball, he passed it back, and he went, calm down. I went, okay, normally at 17, you don't tell your team to calm down. They tell you, okay, hey, keep it.
But Yamal wasn't finished, not even close.
And it's Lamine Yamal. And still, he fancies this. Oh, what a goal! What a player, what a moment in the Champions League. The whole stadium rises to that.
It was the kind of goal that makes you sit back and just shake your head. Maybe even tickle your balls a little bit. It was magic. It's become a trademark of Yamal. I call it the Shas. A mix between a shot and a pass. Goalies and defenders don't know which one it is until the ball is in the back of the net. That strike made Yamal the youngest player in Champions League history to both score and assist in the same match. Another record, another moment for the history books. Barcelona won 3-1 on the night and cruised into the quarterfinal. But more than the result, what was impressive was the way they won. Yamal led the charge. Forget about talking about this kid's potential and how young he is. He was already playing like the best player in the world. That goal, that assist, that's the kind of stuff you expect from a guy that lifts the Ballon d'Or. That is Messi-esque. He showed that age doesn't matter when you've got talent like this. Just don't let Diddy hear about me saying age doesn't matter.
There's not many like him around.
¿A dónde le gustaría viajar?
A Milán, por favor.
As if the Messi comparisons weren't enough, in the semifinals of the Champions League, he decided to completely turn into Messi. Down 2-0 against one of the best defenses in Europe, getting gangbanged the whole game on that right-hand side, and he pulls out a moment of pure magic.
Yamal wriggling his way through. Oh, it's simply sensational.
He muttered those lasagna-loving freaks.
And after the match, Inter head coach Simeone Inzaghi said this: Yamal is one of those talents that are born every 50 years. You get to see talents like this face to face, like I did tonight. We had to double and triple mark him.
Lamine the Dream was an absolute sensation tonight. I mean, 17 years old is just remarkable what he's doing at that age.
It's just crazy what he's doing.
Yamal isn't a rising star anymore. He's already a nightmare for the biggest teams and players in world football. Whether it's humbling the Galacticos, breaking Messi's dribbling record, or humbling someone who has yapped about him, this kid is the real deal. Every time he steps onto the pitch, someone new becomes a victim. Whether it's an experienced defender, a world-class goalie, or an entire back line out to get him, Yamal finds a way to make his mark. And the scariest part is that he's just getting started. This isn't a player who just wins or dominates. He humiliates. This kid will embarrass you, then post about it on his IG story.
We're
no longer talking about his potential or the future, he's taking over the present. Now Yamal has benefited a lot from having a player that he can pass the ball to, and that player is Rafinha. To see how Rafinha went from playing barefoot in the streets of Brazil to becoming one of the best players in the world, you have to check out this video right here.